Hello everyone. I am Asha Best. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are safe. Dear children, today I welcome you all in class 5 EVS, a new chapter, Birth of a Nation. Before this, we discussed about the freedom struggle, great leaders of India, as well as the revolutions which took place after the independence. In this chapter, dear children, in the first part, we'll be discussing the changes that took place in our country after independence, the form of government in India, as well as about the Constitution of India. So let's begin. India became free on 15th August 1947. The Indian independence movement was a series of historic events, dear students, and the ultimate aim of these historic events was to ensure the exit of British from our country. The movement took place from 1857 to 1947, and due to this movement we got independence. Challenges before the independent India. After getting freedom in 1947, 15th August 1947, there were many challenges in front of the Indian leaders. The main challenge was to choose the form of government. India, a huge country in which people belong to different religions, different castes, they belongs to different reasons. So, to choose a perfect government for our country was the main challenge for the Indians, the Indian leaders. The first challenge was to shape a nation that was united, yet accommodative of the diversity in our society. India was a land of continental size and diversity. Its people spoke different languages and followed different culture and religions too. At that time, it was widely believed that a country full of such kinds of diversity could not remain together for long. So, this was the main challenge for the leaders of free India. The duties and rights of the people, as well as the law to be followed. Here we were talking about the government, the form of government. So, to establish democracy in our country was another challenge. The constitution had granted fundamental rights and extended right to vote to every citizen. India adopted representative democracy based on the parliamentary form of government. The challenge was to develop democratic practices in accordance with the constitution. One more challenge was there, that was to ensure the development and well-being of the entire society and not only of some sections. The constitution had adopted the principle of equality and provided special protection to socially disadvantaged groups and religious and cultural communities. The real challenge was to evolve effective policies for economic development and eradication of poverty, so that poverty can be removed from our country. As earlier, our country was known as Sone ki Chidiya, but later, after independence, it was not like that. So, to fulfill all the needs and requirements of all the citizens of our country was the main challenge for the leaders of independent India. This is a picture taken from after the independence, when the leaders sat together to decide the form of government as well as to take an action to fulfill all the needs and requirements of the people who belong to the nation. Now let's talk about the constitution. A constitution is a set of laws to rule a country. Say Take an example of your own school. To run your school, you need a principal, you need teachers, you need administrative staff, you need other workers also. All these people together run your school. Same goes with a country. To run or to make a country functional, we need some laws, rules, and regulations so that each and every individual participates in the active functioning of the government as well as maintains peace and law in the society. As I said, a constitution is a set of rules that guides how a country, state, or other political organization works. The constitution may tell what the branches of the government are, what powers they have, and how they work. It may also state the rights of citizens. The government's other laws are not allowed to disagree with its constitution. The constitution may be amended or changed, but this is generally more difficult to do than passing an ordinary law. So, a set of rules and laws which helps a government to make the country functional is a constitution. Now, let's talk about our constitution, Indian Constitution. Dear students, the leaders of Free India decided to form Constituent Assembly to prepare a draft of the Constitution. The head of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad, our first president. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. Our constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly of India on 26th November 1949 and became effective on 26th January 1950. The Constitution replaced the Government of India Act 1935 as the country's fundamental governing document, and the Dominion of India became the Republic of India. To ensure constitutional autocracy, its framers repealed prior acts of the British Parliament in Article 395. India celebrates its constitution on 26th January as our Republic Day. Every year on 26th of January, we celebrate our Republic Day. The Constitution declares India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. It ensures justice, equality, and liberty for all the citizens of the country. This is the picture of our constitution. In Hindi, we can say Bharat ka Samvidhan. Now, let's talk about our constitution was adopted on 26 January 1950. As earlier also I said this. It gives us laws to govern our nation. The main idea of the constitution was written in the preamble. So, let's talk about the preamble of our constitution. The four important words of preamble are sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. When we talk about the preamble of our constitution, it is the introduction to our constitution. It explains the type of constitution which is followed in our country. The preamble of the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement that sets out the guiding purpose and principles of the document, and it indicates the source from which the document which derives its authority, meaning the people. The preamble of the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement that sets out the guiding purpose and principles of the document, and it indicates the source from which the document is maintained. Now, some of the facts about the preamble of Indian Constitution are: it was enacted after the enactment of the entire Constitution of India. The term secular was added to the preamble of the Indian Constitution by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, which was done in 1976. The preamble secures to all citizens of India liberty to believe, faith, and worship. The ideal of justice, social, economic, and political justice in the preamble are borrowed from the Soviet Union Russia Constitution. The republic and the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity are borrowed from the French Constitution. Now, let's first of all talk about democracy. This is very important form of government which our constitution follows. Democracy means a government made up of the people, by the people, and for the people. At the most basic level, it is a type of government or political system ruled by citizens, people who are members of a society. In a democracy, citizens hold some level of power and authority, and they participate actively in the political or decision making process of their government. At first, if we try to understand democracy, in democracy, we discuss the issues, create rules, make and follow the laws, and actively participate in the functioning of the government. Here in democracy, everyone, those who are 18 or above, can vote and can choose their leaders as their representatives in the government. Sovereign. Sovereign means that we are not ruled by any other country. We are free from any internal or external pressure. A sovereign state in international law is a political entity that is represented by one centralized government that has sovereignty over a geographic area. It defines that we are free from any internal or external power. Nobody is ruling us. We are running our own government. We are not dependent or nor subjected to any other power. Then another important word in our preamble is the socialist. Socialist here explains every citizen is treated as an equal and there is no difference between the people because of caste or religion. Here it explains that all individuals, doesn't matter to which religion or caste they belong, they all are treated equally. They all have given equal rights as per the constitution of the country. Now, secularism. All religions are respected and treated as equal in India. If we talk about secular state, we can say that our country is a secular state, is an idea pertaining to secularity, whereby a state is you can say that it is officially neutral in matters of religion. It doesn't support any particular religion. A secular state claims to treat all its citizens equally, regardless of religion, and claims to avoid preferential treatment for a citizen based on their religious beliefs. Secular states do not have a state religion, or state do not establish a special religion. For them, all the religions are equivalent. It doesn't support any particular religion. Directive principles. Now let's talk about directive principles which are given in our constitution. The directive principles tells a state how to work for the welfare of the people. The directive principles given in our constitution ensure that the state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing a social order in which social, economic, and political justice is animated, informed in all institutions of life, as per the Article 38(1). Directive principles tell us that how it can be ensured that each and every citizen of the country gets its particular requirements or ensures each and every citizen's welfare. It also ensures work for every citizen, provides free and compulsory education for all children up to 14 years of age. No one is exploited on the basis of wealth, religion, or caste. It provides proper living conditions for the people. Means overall it provides good living condition, all the facilities, all the basic needs and requirements to the citizen of the country. So these all are the important features of our constitution which are explained in the preamble of Indian Constitution. Here we talked about till now about the Indian Constitution, when it was implemented, when it was adopted, when it got ready, the important words given in our preamble: sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. We also talked about brief explanation about all these important words given in the preamble, as well as we got a brief idea about the directive principles given in our constitution. Hope you all understood it. Hope you all liked it. We'll soon meet with another part of this chapter. Till then, take care. Keep watching the video. Thank you and have a nice day.